yogis. This is Adrienne with How Yoga Changed My Life, a podcast. Today is our final episode of 2025. And this week I'm recording solo, but this episode doesn't feel solo at all. Instead of a traditional recap, today we're going to weave together the deeper lessons that emerged across our guest interviews, like learning to listen to our body, honoring our nervous system capacity, redefining strength, practicing rest, and finding your way back to yourself when life untethers you. This year was shaped by conversations, real ones, honest ones, the kind that stays with you long after the recording stops. Instead of a highlight reel, this episode is about what this year's guests actually taught us. Not just ideas, but things that landed in the body. One of the strongest themes this year was learning to listen to our bodies, not to fix it or push through it, but to trust it. From Deb. If students can advocate for themselves on the mat, they may be able to do it in bigger situations. Yoga becomes practice for life, learning to trust your own voice. And that same simplicity came through with Rubina. She said, yoga was always something I did because it made me feel good. It kept me sane. She practiced not because it was impressive and not because it was productive, but because it helped her feel okay in her body. Another powerful thread this year was capacity, what it actually means to feel capable in your body, not just in your mind. From Erin, my brain knew I could do it, but I had to convince my body that I could too. For Erin, yoga wasn't an escape. It was regulation. It was learning how to stay. Another theme that showed up this year was what happens when life untethers you and how your yoga practice can bring you back. From Chiara. After my move from New York to DC, that untethered me mentally from a lot of things that kept me solid in my routine and in my sense of self. Taking time out of my day to be a body, to exist in the boundaries of it, helped me slowly come back to myself. She also spoke about the quiet power of practicing with others. She said, having a consistent yoga practice outside of my house, where I have to be present with others, where we breathe together, we move together, it was more important than I thought it would be. That reminder landed deeply that sometimes practice isn't about discipline. It's about remembering who you are. And some conversations this year reminded me that healing doesn't always look calm. Sometimes it looks like feeling again. From Shelley. I was horribly depressed, disassociated, and very numb. And I walked into a yoga class on a whim. At the end of class, I just started bawling. I thought, what just happened to me? Later, she shared, I'll never forget that first day of feeling in my body like, that's okay. Yoga didn't fix everything for her. It helped her learn how to flow into a second act that she just couldn't skip. Some of the most powerful conversations this year came from lived experiences, not theory. From Scott. Between sobriety and yoga, that's what kept me on this planet. Everybody's rock bottom is different. We all have a story. Your story is yours. Mine is mine. We learned healing isn't comparative. It's personal. And that same truth showed up with Beth. She shared, if I hadn't had my kids tethering me, I don't know if I would be alive. And I say that honestly, not dramatically. we get to choose what brings us peace. Sometimes that means letting go of what no longer fits. Another theme that kept returning this year was practice, not as performance, but as relationship. From Jenny. One day in Shavasana, my thoughts were quiet, and it changed my life. We learned stillness isn't instant. It's learned. That connected beautifully with Lara. She said, what I discovered was deep relationships with people, not just short visits, but really getting to know them. We learned movement becomes sustainable when it's relational, not something we conquer. Finally, one of the quieter themes this year was how people find yoga, often by accident. From Jorge. I didn't understand everything, but it felt good. And then Shavasana happened, and I thought, where has this been all of my life? Practice doesn't always start when life is calm. Sometimes it starts when something simply feels supportive. And somehow, when we're ready, it finds us back. When I look back at this year, what stands out isn't just the episodes. It's the shared humanity. Through different stories and different paths, but still the same reminders. Listen more, push less, and trust what you feel. To every guest who trusted us with their story, thank you. And to everyone listening, thank you for being a part of this space. As we move into a new year, may we carry forward what supports us and leave behind what doesn't. I'm truly looking forward to what 2026 has to offer. I'm excited to share more episodes of How Yoga Changed My Life, a podcast with all of you. If you have stories, please write to us at yogachanged@gmail.com. You can send us a DM on Instagram at yogachanged. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful end of your 2025 and a fabulous start to 2026. See you next year.